Welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue, and on today's show, it's all about what you guys say in my comments. It's all about the fans' questions. We're answering some of the hottest questions that you guys gave me here on our Wednesday live stream. Let's talk about it right away. But first, make sure you are subscribed to our channel because we are in the middle of a Week 3 sub-battle still with the Packers. This is how it started out. We had a small lead. 34 new subs at the start of the week. The Packers, 25. We need to build this lead before Sunday. We need to, folks. We got to beat them here. Show Chat Sports bosses that Browns fans do it best. We're the most loyal. We're two old school fan groups, but Cleveland is the most diehard. Make sure you smash that subscribe button so we can beat the Packers here and hopefully on the field on Sunday. But without further ado, let's get into the video. First comment we got was from Soul Train with the $2 super chat donation. Thank you for that, Soul Train. Soul Train said they need to fix the offensive line for any quarterback to survive here in Cleveland. Absolutely agree with you, Soul Train. I was disappointed with what I saw from the offensive line. I had a little bit higher hopes going into the season, but if you watched all my videos in the offseason, I said we need to get OL depth because Cleveland has been plagued by the injury bug at the offensive line position. It's been hurting them, and now you're seeing it in real time. There were poor moments against the Ravens game. There were some okay, decent moments, but there were also times where they didn't hold up and pick up blocks that they were supposed to. So I agree with you. If any quarterback's going to have success, especially against the defenses Cleveland has to play early on in the season, offensive line is a huge part of that success. We found out Joel Bitonio didn't practice Wednesday either, so we'll have to update you on his status. And Jack Conklin also has been out. We'll see if he comes back as well, but that's going to be an important piece for Cleveland. Next up, Priya Rose came in with the $2 super chat. Priya Rose said, please, hashtag free Shedeur, put him on practice squad. This a hot topic for months across the league. The Shedeur Sanders fan base is coming out saying free Shedeur because Cleveland's not giving him any playing time. But not only that, there were reports he wasn't even getting reps with the scout team. Now, Cleveland in their press conferences had said that he was getting reps as well as Bailey Zappi with scout team. But he's been the emergency third quarterback. He's not even been active on game days, week 1 or week 2. So you're seeing free Shedeur all over social media. That's Priya Rose's take. And I think we just have to be patient with him. We'll see Sanders later on in the season. Flacco's already buying himself a ticket to the bench. Next up on deck is Dylan Gabriel. And I think by the end of it, they're going to put in Shedeur to evaluate what we have in number 12. So a little bit more patience, but I think Cleveland will give him an opportunity because if he can't get an opportunity in Cleveland, he's not going to get one anywhere else. We are the team that has quarterback issues and needs to find the quarterback for the future. So that's what I think about that. Dolphin X also came in with the $20 super chat. And Dolphin X, we came in to get me and all the Browns fans fired up. Said, we're finally here. Alpha dogs are in effect. Not giving up hope on the season yet. I'm glad you're saying this. I like this positive attitude. I tried it in my last video, and everyone seemed to rally around it because we're not losing hope on the season. There are lots of bright spots to take away from Cleveland's 2 losses. They were close with Cincinnati, and the defense looked good in both games. They, in fact, are ranked first right now in total defense in the NFL. Can you believe that? They're number 1. They've given up the fewest yards per game. It's incredible, and I do think that the Browns defense will continue this trend going forward. They just need help from the offense. Their offense is consistently turning it over year after year after year. It's not good at all, but there's a lot of promising young rookies for the Browns to be excited about, like Quinshon Judkins, who had a great debut, 60 yards on just 10 carries, and Harold Fannin Jr. has been showing out. Carson Schlesinger is a Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate. If you watch the film, defense looks good. Rookies look young, promising, and electric. We're not losing hope on the season. That schedule is going to get a lot easier towards the back half. We play the Patriots, the Niners, the Raiders, the Steelers twice, the Bengals again. Who knows if they'll have Joe Burrow. There's winnable games, folks. Stay tuned. Don't lose hope just yet. I'm not. Dolphin X is not. Browns fan, sadly, though, has a username that suggests otherwise, but he wants to know, Which Browns RB do I keep in fantasy football? Judkins or Dylan Sampson? Great question, and I got an answer. First, I would want to know, is your league PPR or no? Because Sampson's going to get a lot of receptions. Now, that was the worry. Is Judkins going to be used in the receiving game? Well, I gave you the scouting report in the offseason. He does have that ability. He got 3 catches against the Ravens for 10 yards. Judkins, to me, has been the clear candidate to take over the Browns' backfield, take over Jerome Ford's role, and be our running back 1. That's how he was used on Sunday against Baltimore, and that was without a full week of practice. Heck, that was without a month of practice. He couldn't even come back until Thursday because he had to meet with the commissioner that week on Wednesday. So now we got to see Judkins ramped up. We'll see him fully ramped up this week, ready to go. He's hard to tackle. He was a violent, angry runner. That 31-yard pop got me fired up on the watch party. I would keep Quinshon Judkins. That's who I have in my league. Get ready. He's going to be a fantasy beast. But I want to know in the comments from you folks, who do you think is the Browns running back 1? Who would you keep? Type QJ if you think Quinshon Judkins. Type DS if you think Dylan Sampson. Like I said, the only upside for Sampson is he will get catches when he comes in. But you should know, Judkins is poised to take over that role. Before we get into more of your questions, and we got some good ones coming up, I want to tell you that this episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. And honestly, I'm just so happy that football is back on our TVs on Sundays. All is right with the world, and I'm big into daily fantasy with PrizePicks. I'm obsessed with it because it makes all the games more entertaining. And before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in, and PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. I'm hoping all my picks hit because I've got a lineup for this week. We're starting off Josh Allen, more than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. I think he walks across the goal line like he usually does, and he'll do it on a terrible Miami Dolphins defense. Joe Flacco is in here as well. I've got less than 240.5 pass yards, but more than half a rushing yard. Flacco just gets 1 rushing yard. Then I'm correct, and I'll make money. You can too if you want to follow my lineup. To do that, though, you got to download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. That link will be in the description as we get back to our questions from the live here, starting off with Pete Feet 34, $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Pete Feet. Says SS plus new stadium equals millions of dollars. Panthers game tickets jumped from $12 to $150 plus just by announcing Shedeur Sanders as the starter. We were live for that here in preseason week 1. Says this year is all smoke and mirrors plus BS narratives to quiet the media frenzy. So Pete Feet coming in saying Shedeur is box office just like me and is ramping up revenue and ratings for the Cleveland Browns, and he wants to see him start. Pete Feet, like I said, I think I'm with you. I would love to see Shedeur go out there and play because he has been the talk of the offseason, and he is bringing eyes and sales to the Cleveland Browns. I want to see him get out there, but I think they're going to be patient with it. It's not going to be till later in the season, if at all, because the Browns have put Dylan Gabriel as number 2 on their depth chart. Stefanski said he has earned a backup role. We'll see what the Cleveland Browns estimation is, if it turns out to be valid or not. You know, if Gabriel goes out there and he plays bad, they'll have no choice but to put in Shedeur Sanders, and then we'll all get to see what you want to see, and hopefully he can prove the haters and doubters wrong. But for now, it's Flacco. I think Flacco's on a short leash. He is for me, at least. They're going to go to Gabriel pretty soon, and then it's just a matter of time before we see number 12. Unless Gabriel balls out and plays really well, then Cleveland found their guy, and they'll be able to use number 8 going forward. But we'll see about that. Don't lose hope just yet on 12. Going on to Kathy's question. Kathy, a real one, fan of the Browns Report for a long time, says, why aren't we using more screenplays? It's a great point, Kathy. I made this point in my keys to victory that Stefanski's got to switch up the play calling. We have a lot of fast, explosive players that could absolutely be utilized in terms of different plays and screens, particularly Isaiah Bond. I mean, that dude's got speed for days. Swing it out to him, run a little wide receiver bubble screen, let him go to work. There's plenty of rookies you could use to run screens with as well. You know, the tight end screen has been something utilized in Cleveland and across a couple other teams that have good tight ends. Give it to Njoku. Let him work in open space. Give it to Harold Fant Jr. I've been very impressed with what he can do. Dylan Sampson, another great candidate to catch a screen pass. He has been amazing in open field. Week 1 against the Bengals, you saw a lot. Flacco would just sling it out behind the line of scrimmage. Sampson would catch and run, make some guys miss. He's elusive. I like what you're saying, Kathy, and I'm wondering the same thing. I'm calling up Stefanski saying, why aren't we running more screens and other creative play calls as a whole? We have the talent on the roster to do it. Next up, we got your boy Ham. What's going on, my boy Ham? Says our defense is actually playing relatively well, all things considered. I agree. Do you think with the addition of Judkins, we can finally open up the passing game and score? I think Judkins will be a big part of that if you do start to see the floodgates open on offense, your boy Ham. He's a powerful back, and he's someone defenses are going to have to account for. You saw against the Ravens towards the end of the game, he popped a 31-yard run where he was bouncing off tacklers and ran strong and angry. Eventually, they're going to be able to get back to what Stefanski likes to do, and that's run play action. But you need a good, threatening run game to be able to set those up. I think if Judkins can play the whole season, still no word on the NFL, so we're good to use him. That would absolutely set things up. It's just going to be about Flacco's accuracy now going forward because he can be a gunslinger. Week 1, he had almost 300 yards. But if he's going to turn the ball over, receivers are going to drop passes, then we'll never see it, your boy Ham. But Judkins will absolutely help that if we have a competent quarterback that can deliver. Big J-Bone was in the chat all day on Wednesday. Wanted us to know, hey, put in Gage Larvinanen and Caden Davis since we're catching all the TDs in preseason. They were catching all the touchdowns in preseason. You'll be happy to know Gage Larvinanen made the practice squad and cleared waivers, so Cleveland can call him up if they want. Believe they can do the same with Caden Davis. Those were our preseason touchdown catchers, and honestly, I liked Gage a lot in training camp. If you're a diehard Browns fan and you've been following their preseason and their offseason, Larvinanen was balling out in camp. Everybody was finding him. Gabriel was throwing to him. Shedeur was throwing to him a lot. And Flacco could be doing the same. So he could absolutely earn his way onto this roster, I hope. But for now, J-Bone, we got to rely on our stars to actually catch the ball like Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman, who had a couple costly drops so far, weeks 1 and 2. G-Fresh wants to know, when are we going to get a true number 1 wide receiver? Well, that's an interesting question because you don't think Judy's a true number 1? I think last season, Jerry was clearly established as a true wide receiver 1. I think he does have that potential and talent to be it, and we saw it last year with Jameis Winston behind the helm. So I agree that the wide receiver room could use some help. You know, Thrash has actually not been good so far, and we could use some extra juice in that room. Hopefully Cleveland go out, make a trade, get a new big wide receiver with one that's on the market, like a Lave or even a Tyreek Hill, even though he'd be expensive. So I absolutely would love Cleveland to go out and get a wide receiver 1, and heck, even A.J. Brown if he's on the block. And that's something they used to do in years past. You know, they went out, they got Odell Beckham Jr., they got Jarvis Landry, they got Amari Cooper. Like, the Browns are no stranger to bringing in big star wide receiver 1s, but does that matter when you don't have a quarterback figured out? You know, the offense just looked awful last week. Who's going to throw to him? So I think Judy's a good one, but I would absolutely love to bring in some more help, G-Fresh. Moving on, slow but sure, $20 super chat. He wants to know, I agree with you, slow but sure. Thank you so much for the question. Oh, here we go. Slow but sure has a question for us for real. Says, no question for the bag, actually. Just a shout out to Joey. Loving the show, man. Keep it up. Wow, thank you so much, slow but sure. That's a really nice comment. I appreciate you so much. Those type of comments always feel good and great to see. So really do love hanging out with you guys, and I'm glad I I could do this for you and do this for all the Browns fans out there. So much love to you, Slow but Sure. Thank you so much for being a real one and tuning in. And now we've got another real one here. Bo and Her wants to know, will Deshaun Watson play this year? Okay, here's a question that'll get Browns fans fired up. We've been seeing videos surface of Deshaun Watson running and throwing as if his Achilles is looking much better. He's also been getting married, like he's walking around living his life, having the time of his life, making $200 million guaranteed. So there's potential. This is not something we'll have to touch on until later in the season. But Watson will be healthy, and he'll be back on the active roster. He'll be in that quarterback competition, folks. And what's to say that the Browns won't start him again? Because every single time he's been healthy, he's been the Browns' #1 quarterback. And even when he was playing terrible, they kept putting him in. So I do think later, like week 13, 14, 15, 16, there's potential Watson's in that conversation and gets a start for the Cleveland Browns, which is shocking to even think about. But what if he's good? What if he comes back and he plays like he did when he was a member of the Houston Texans? What if he actually plays good? That's what we thought would happen, and we've yet to see it. How many quarterbacks do you think the Cleveland Browns will actually start this year? We know there's already 3 on the roster. Joe Flacco's 1. Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders in line to be 2 and 3. Bailey Zappe's on the practice squad. Deshaun Watson on the physically unable to perform list. How many quarterbacks do you think Cleveland will actually use this year? Seems like we can ask this question for multiple years in Cleveland. Comment your number for 2025 into 2026. Dolphin X came in. Here is our final question of the day. Dolphin X said, rate the all-brown outfits the Browns are rocking this week. So at first glance, it looks pretty cool, the all-brown. But a lot of people were clowning the uniforms. The sponsor is Dude Wipes, and it's an all-brown uniform. So, it got a lot of social media attention. And then when they did the unveiling of the Browns helmet, the camera guy fell into the water. Did you guys see this on Twitter? I mean, bro took a massive splash, and it was just everyone making memes saying only the Cleveland Browns would this happen to. He literally fell off the dock and made a big splash. This had to be a PR stunt to me. I mean, the dude, there's no way he didn't know where he was going. But you see him walking around with the camera, and then just boom, huge flash when the Cleveland Browns are unveiling their new helmet. So pretty funny. I think the all-brown look could be cool, but I don't know. I was hoping for maybe a little something sleeker. Like if only they had like an all-black in their arsenal or something like that. I give it. They're unveiling it this week against the Green Bay Packers. I think it'll look cooler on your TVs, but I'll give it like a 7.3. That's my rating for it, Dolphin X. Let me know yours in the comment. If you want to see more funny videos like that guy falling under the water, go over to X. Go at Joey070. We'll chop it up, have some fun conversations about the Cleveland Browns there or about anything you want. Drop me a follow. I respond to comments on Twitter all the time. So go over there. I'll see you all there. And thank you so much for tuning in to the Browns Report. Let's go into week 3 and beat the Green Bay Packers. Thank you so much for watching.